Hi there, welcome back to the channel. My name's Harry and I'm going to be showing you 5 mistakes to avoid when implementing AI into your clinic and what to do instead. So if you're new to AI, this is the perfect video for you. So the agenda for the video goes as, first of all I'm going to show you the 5 key mistakes that people make when implementing AI into their clinic first, then I'm going to give you what to do instead, in other words the solution, and then I'm going to give you a link to my ebook at the end of the video. Implementing AI into a healthcare clinic can be transformative, but it also does present several challenges. So here are the first 5 and exactly what to do instead. Number 1 is failing to address ethical and privacy concerns. So in other words, not being compliant to the regulations of AI within your sector and your geographical location. This can lead to many issues such as breaches of patient trust and legal repercussions. If you're not compliant with privacy regulations such as HIPAA in the US, then it can lead to significant legal problems. AI systems often require vast amounts of access to patient data, so therefore you must keep this secure at all times. And also patients may be unaware of how their data is actually being used, leading to a loss of confidence and a lack of trust. But the good news is there's a lot that you can do about this beforehand. Now the first thing that I'd be doing straight away is regularly reviewing the regulations in AI within your industry and your geographical location. Now the reason I've regularly checked this is because they are changing all the time, and because AI is so fast paced and probably the fastest growing industry you've ever seen, they're always subject to change. It's also good practice to implement robust data encryption and access panels. Now, some of you may not know what that means. Now, you don't have to do this yourself, of course. I think majority of people watching this video will be bringing someone in to implement these AI systems and build them out. So therefore, being aware of them, at least you can question your developers on these things. And you can let them know that you put a big emphasis on privacy and ethical concerns. Although I'm assuming they all probably already know this, but it's worth mentioning for sure. Even if you're starting small, it's still so important to understand the ethical concerns and privacy concerns of AI. The next mistake people make is underestimating the need for human oversight. Assuming that AI can just operate by itself is a massive mistake. This can result in errors and decreased trust, especially from your employees. But I guess the good news is here that AI will not replace your staff. In fact, it can actually assist them and make them better. And just like humans, AI systems can make errors, especially when dealing with things that they're not well experienced on or haven't been well trained on. So therefore, having a human identify errors and correcting the errors that the AI makes is essential. Regardless, AI will always require some sort of human oversight, and it will actually help the relation between the AI and the human. We can finally begin to trust AI a bit more. So what can we do instead? Well, number 1 is use and implement AI systems that support human decision making, not replace it. Or you can ensure that your staff and yourself remain involved in all the critical decision making, whether that's just checking what the AI has decided and approving it. Another idea is establish protocols for continuous checks and monitoring of the AI system. We can check the performance and identify ways that we can improve it and help its decision making. And here we can also correct errors. And to be honest, having a protocol like this might prompt ideas in everyone's heads of where else AI can actually be used within your business. So now we'll move on to number 3, and that is neglecting to plan for scalability and integration. The mistake here is implementing AI as a one-time thing and not considering any scalability or implementation within the future. Now this can limit effectiveness, especially in the long term. This may not be something you're worrying about now, but it's definitely a good idea to keep it in the back of your mind going into the future. We want to be able to move with time, and if you don't plan for scalability, well, these AI systems will not be able to evolve with your business, which ultimately may just result in this being a massive waste of investment for you. Also, as we all know, the healthcare industry is always evolving. It's very dynamic with changes in tech and regulations. So therefore, AI systems that are not easily scalable or integrated will just become outdated very quickly. And this may require costly overhauls or just may require you to buy a whole new system. So what can we do instead? Well, before I tell you that, I know with a lot of these actionable steps that I'm giving you of what you can do, I know a lot of the time you won't be doing this yourself, you'll be consulting with your AI consultant or development team, but these are just merely to keep in the back of your mind, and it can be something that you bring up when you go to implement these AI systems and you have these meetings. So I don't expect you to be able to do all this, because this is just merely about making you aware. So therefore, the first thing you can do is, along with your AI developer or AI consultant, is develop a scalability scalability strategy. You can look at scaling AI across different departments or different areas of your clinic. You can also continuously evaluate and adapt new AI systems to meet new clinical needs. It's also a really good practice to keep on top of tech advancements in the healthcare industry, regardless if that's AI involved or not. So moving on to number 4, and that's neglecting to automate repetitive tasks. Now in 2024, with all the AI tools involved, I don't see why anybody wouldn't be looking to do this anyway, regardless of what industry or field you're in. Because automating your repetitive tasks can literally lead to a decrease in operational costs. It can also give you and your staff a lot more time to focus on areas which you care about more, such as patient care, improving that. Now this is one of the easier ways and most effective ways to implement AI. And in fact, you could probably do this yourself. You'll be surprised in how easy it is to actually do. Now failing to do this impacts patient care and causes burnout on your staff. And in fact, some of you may already be doing this. You may already be seeing your staff burnt out and patient care being reduced, and it may be because they're spending too much time on administrative tasks. What you've got to do is just look at examples such as InHealth. After just 1 year, InHealth accomplished the same amount of tasks with 21,000 less hours spent just by automating their repetitive administrative tasks. Now this was done in partnership with the UK's NHS. And those are some outstanding figures as well. 21,000 less hours spent to do the same amount of work. That is incredible. They would have then been able to shift those 21,000 hours and put that onto improving their patient care, spending more time with patients. So what can you do to ensure that you get the same results as InHealth and the NHS? So the first thing you want to do is identify the most time-consuming administrative tasks. Maybe appointment scheduling, rescheduling, billing or record keeping. Now I know for you US-based clinics, insurance takes a lot of you and your staff's time. So maybe this is an area that you could start looking at. If you get a lot of repetitive, mundane questions that you seem to be asked all the time, or you have your front desk calling you up all the time, why not think of implementing a conversational AI assistant that can handle all of these questions on your website? This is fairly easy to do, and many people will be able to build one of these themselves. Now it is worth noting to continuously monitor these systems. This is just for good practice to check they're functioning properly and answering the questions properly. And you can also just make adjustments to improve your efficiency as well. Now the 5th and final one is overlooking staff training. This is a big mistake. Now introducing AI without training your staff can lead to big resistance, which will then ultimately lead to underutilization of these systems. This is obviously dependent on what type of AI you bring in. If it's a less advanced one, then maybe it would just be about making your staff aware that AI is now implemented within the business. You could even argue that this may be the mistake that you want to avoid out of the 5. As mentioned, without proper training, your staff may resist to the adoption and may also be concerned about job security, because all we see in the news is how AI is going to replace this job, that job. It's kind of easy to see why they would think that. Again, leading to an underutilization of AI, which will kind of restrain you seeing the full benefits. As well, if you train your staff on how to use these systems, or at least make them aware that AI is being used in the business, it can actually help prompt them to think of new ideas and better ways to utilize AI in different areas of your business. So what can you do instead? Well, along with your AI consultant or developer, you can create an AI training program to help your employees understand how to use this system, how it benefits them, what the goals of it are, and also of course show its functions. It's all about really familiarizing your staff with what it does and how it works. Now of course there's no need to get into the technical side of things, because for one, it will confuse them, and two, it probably doesn't interest them. Some of you may be thinking of the idea of implementing a chatbot on your website to handle a lot of questions and queries and appointments. What these chatbots can actually do is hand over the conversation to a human, so you or one of your staff members. An example of a training idea here would be to show your employee when the conversation is going to be transferred from the chatbot over to the employee, and then you can just show your staff on how to use it, how to reply, maybe how to send images within this chat, and also of course show them when a notification comes in where they need to look. Now that's just a super basic example, but maybe one of the most applicable ones. I also think it would be good practice to provide ongoing support for your staff and yourself as well. Even help identify where you can bring it into your own and your staff's daily work life. And also encourage feedback from your staff so you can identify any challenges that they face. From there you can make necessary adjustments to the training program, necessary adjustments to the AI solutions and systems, and even bring in new AI solutions and systems based off of that feedback as well. I hope I have helped you avoid some major problems and issues today. As mentioned at the start of the video, there still are a few more issues which I'd like to cover, so stay tuned for part 2. I know I keep mentioning it, but I'm going to assume a lot of you viewers are going to be bringing someone in to implement these AI systems for you. This video is just more about making you aware of these potential roadblocks so you can always bring it up in conversation. Now please feel free to get in touch or book a call using the link below, and if you have any questions, of course leave them in the comments below. Alternatively, you could drop me a DM on LinkedIn. The link to my profile is in the description. Of course, from there we can talk about potentially implementing AI then into your clinic. Also, if you're a non-technical business owner looking to implement AI into their business, use the link below and you can download our free ebook. Thanks for watching.